Hello, my name is Nina Reed, and this is Preparing English Language Learners for the New York State ELA Regents, an approach to the argumentative essay. When working with ELLs, it is important to acknowledge and understand the different funds of knowledge that students bring into the classroom, as well as their past experiences and cultural backgrounds. The contents of this video are composed into 3 sections: foregrounding vocabulary, introducing the structure and the essay outline, and how to attack and approach the essay. Section 1, Foregrounding vocabulary. This includes focusing on the word should in the argumentative prompts, introducing Tier 2 and Tier 3 vocabulary, using the Freyer model, and using Witty strategies to assess student learning. Introducing the vocabulary of the prompt. Before encouraging students to produce writing, I like to take the time for students to familiarize themselves with the essay and develop an understanding of the purpose of the essay, the structure, and the sequence they need to follow in order to develop a well-written essay that will meet the criteria on the rubric for the exam. In order to begin, I provide students with an opportunity to familiarize themselves with the language structure of the prompts for the argumentative essay. For example, should cell phones be used in schools? ¿Deberían usarse los teléfonos celulares en la escuela? It is important to provide examples in both languages so that students should make the association of the structure of the sentence. The word should appears in most prompts for this essay, and it is important for students to recognize this in order to understand the complete task. In order to provide some implicit emphasis, teachers can use bold text or color coding to draw students' attention to this language structure. Students must be explicitly told that based on the prompts, they will be required to answer that question by choosing a side and deciding yes or no to meet the requirements of the task. Next, it is important to provide students with opportunities to develop understanding of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 academic vocabulary that is used for these essays. In my school, which consists of mostly Spanish-speaking ELLs, students are provided with vocabulary in both L1 and L2 so that they can make associations with the words and their meanings. As you can see in the chart, students are given the vocabulary words in both English and Spanish so that they can make connections to cognates and also false cognates when approaching these vocabulary words when working on the argumentative essay. To deepen their understanding, students can work in groups in order to complete a Freyer model for each word, in which they can write the word in both languages, provide a definition, examples and non-examples, and provide visuals when appropriate in order to provide access to learning, regardless of the language barrier. Once students have completed that activity, the teacher can then provide students with other tasks, such as Witty sentence parts or because but so, in order to evaluate and assess students' understanding. For example, the because but so below assesses students' understanding of the vocabulary, but also the structure of the essay and the importance of each component. Section 2, Using a Scaffolded Approach to Teach the Essay Structure. This section includes introducing the Witty outline and how to approach the argumentative essay specifically for the ELA Regents exam. This is not necessarily how students will be taught how to write all essays. This approach was designed to target the argumentative essay specifically. As students are hopefully already familiar with the Witty paragraph outline, they will be introduced to the essay outline to compose this essay. The outline provides a linear note-taking tool for students to clearly see each component of the essay, its sequence, and it also serves as a blueprint for the entire essay before they begin their writing. Students must develop the understanding that the thesis, which includes the claim and 2 reasons that were synthesized from the articles, serves as the roadmap for the rest of the essay outline. Depending on students' needs, the teacher can provide more videos on how to teach this paragraph with ELLs in mind. The thesis will dictate the components of each paragraph within the essay. As you notice below, the way that I teach the introduction includes a general statement, a specific statement, and then the thesis. More videos are to follow on how to specifically instruct students when working on this paragraph. Students do not yet need to know the specific components of each body paragraph. Each paragraph can be divided into 1 to even 3 lessons depending on the needs of the students. This is just to provide them with a linear tool that gives them a visual of the overall structure. Students can make this outline quickly when taking the exam before writing. The body paragraphs within the essay outline provide students to space and transfer their notes from the articles that they read. The first body paragraph focuses on the first reason of their claim. The second body paragraph focuses on the second reason, and the third focuses on developing a counterclaim. More information on this can be provided in future videos in which we go into more detail on how to instruct the students with each paragraph specifically. Section 3. How to attack the essay before writing. This section includes a checklist for students to complete before writing, which can be differentiated based on students' ELP levels, encouraging students to underline keywords and phrases, and provide a think aloud for students to develop a deeper understanding of the task as a whole. Now, what do students need to do before they start writing? I provide ELLs with this checklist in which students complete each task prior to writing the essay. The listed structure makes the task more comprehensible for ELLs, and providing visuals will support students with a lower English language proficiency. The checklist goes as follows. Number 1, students should read the prompt or question. Then, students are to then think about the prompt or the question. Do I understand what this question is asking? Should cell phones be used in school? What do I think about that? What connections do I have to this topic from my own life experience? Number 3, read, underline keywords and phrases, and take notes for all 4 articles. Near the title, students should label each article as in favor of the prompt, against, or both, which will make it easier to refer to each article while writing. Write 2 to 4 points from the article in short notes. Underline and star strong quotes that can be used to support the claim. Number 4, analyze your keywords and phrases that you underlined while reading. What are common patterns and trends? What are they all related to? This is how you will identify the 2 overall reasons to include in your claim. Number 5, choose a side to begin writing your claim with 2 reasons and add them to the essay outline. This is the thesis statement you will prove in your essay with evidence and examples from the text. Number 6, complete the essay outline with your notes and evidence from the articles to prepare an overview for each paragraph in the essay. Once all this is done, you can use the outline to write the essay. So, what might this look like? Here's a model excerpt of a text with an example of a student's underlines and key phrases while reading, as well as some student notes on the right in the student's L1. One note on the bottom right says, learning more than one language leads to an increase in the ability to multitask. At the top of the excerpt, the student writes a note that this text is in favor of the prompt. Should studying a foreign language be a high school graduation requirement? Notice the thought bubbles that are visible in the slide. These questions are model examples that teachers can use when modeling a think aloud of how students can identify and process information as they read. What patterns am I noticing? What are some ideas that are repeated? These questions will encourage students to recognize commonalities amongst the articles and the information included. This next slide shows a model excerpt of a different text for the same task, in which the student also underlines keywords and phrases and records notes in L2, which happens to be English. The student is encouraged to use the same thought process and ask the same questions while reading. In this example, the student also noticed that this text focuses on a similar idea as another text that is provided. The student notes that this article is also related to culture. Analyzing student notes to determine 2 reasons for the overall claim. Again, students should ask themselves the following question when analyzing their notes and reviewing the parts of the text that they underlined. What patterns did I notice as I read? Do any of the same ideas repeat in different articles? How can I create a general phrase for a pattern that I notice? By creating a general phrase, students can then use that phrase as a reason within their claim. Students must be able to compose 2 phrases to include into their claim. Please note that it will take students some practice to completely be able to synthesize their notes independently. It is imperative that the teacher models a think aloud for this step and remind students that the specific examples from the text will be supported within the body paragraphs rather than in the claim. Please use the Witty paragraph outline as a reference in order for students to make the connection that the general statement is part of the introduction and the specifics serve as supporting details. Now that students have identified their 2 general reasons, they can write their claim and use it as a baseline for the rest of the essay outline. Each reason will have its own body paragraph. As you can see here, the student included their claim in the introductory section of this essay outline. Although that is not the introduction as a whole, the students used the claim to be the roadmap for the rest of the essay outline. Foreign language learning must be a high school graduation requirement because it promotes critical thinking and exposes different cultural perspectives. Each reason will have its own body paragraph. Promoting critical thinking serves as the first body paragraph, and exposing cultural perspectives will serve as the second body paragraph. The third body paragraph will then serve to address the counterclaim. Please keep in mind that the pacing and focus will have to adjust in order to specifically address student needs. In this essay outline, the student was able to transfer their notes from the text during their reading into the essay outline directly, and this will save time when looking for information to include in the essay itself. Here are some more things to consider when working with ELLs. Every ELL is different and learns in their own way. Teachers must be receptive and responsive to students' needs. Use strategic inquiry to adjust and drive instruction. Differentiate in order to meet the needs of all of the students in your classroom. It is important to start small and hold students accountable for their understanding of the structure and purpose of the task in order to end up with better results in their writing. Thank you, and I look forward to sharing more specifics on how to prepare ELLs for the argumentative essay. For more information about teaching writing, please visit www.strategicinquiry.com.